Hey guys, it's me, Jack24 here. Why do I sound so different? Hold on a second. Alright. Well, I suppose I'm back to normal. Alright, so first of all, uh, a few things. So for one, I'm gonna be, reacting to the Muldoon logs, episode 15, the Metriacanthosaurs. Metri... Metriacanthosaurus, which is a dinosaur that was on InGen's list, although has only been seen in the game in the games. Although I will say this: one, I haven't watched completely all of the interview of the Muldoon logs between Aliota and Swift Edge, and in fact, when I get up to the point after Robbie's reckoning, I would be watching this interview because I only got like 3 minutes in before I decided, oh wait, nah, I should wait till see what this thing between creator and reactor is like, because honestly, I'm interested by what they gotta say and what the interview is overall because I'm overall impressed by Aliotta's work, and also I like the commentary given by commentary creators. Anyways, for those wondering what my qualifications are for reviewing this, not that there needs to be any, but from what perspective I come from into this. So I come from the perspective of a paleo fan that's had a lifelong interest into paleontology. In fact, I almost pursued it as my career in college, and I spent a good chunk of my life dedicated to learning about how prehistoric life lived and what it was like. Although I will say it wasn't exactly purely a career thing for me, and that's kind of been the thing that I was struggling with in kind of the first 2 years of high school, whether or not if I should pursue paleontology as my career or keep it as my lifelong hobby, which still is to this day. And when I decided that I would not choose paleontology for a career but choose film instead, I still kept up to date and in touch about all of the stuff that is going on in paleontology to the best of my abilities. At the current moment, there's a paper kind of claiming that Suchomimus might no longer be valid and would be a replaced name, would have its name being changed into another Spinosaurus name. Although I'm not sure how much of validity is onto the claim since I haven't read the paper yet, so I'll have to figure that out and what the consensus is. Anyways, but pretty much, yeah, I am. I am coming from this from a pretty knowledgeable person on paleontology. I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I wouldn't say I'm an amateur, but I wouldn't call myself like someone that's only into paleontology because of movies. No, I was generally interested by creatures that lived prior to humanity and even the creatures that lived during humanity, because honestly, those kind of interest me because those are lost giants and lost unknown creatures that we can't ever have a dream of recovering. So the best we can do is piece together what their lives were like and figuring out what the animals were like. So yeah, let's jump right. Oh wait, that reminds me. Sorry about that. All right, so So first of all the copyright for Jurassic Park belongs to Universal City Studios LLC and to Emblem Entertainment Inc. And all of the video copyright belongs to Aliota, who I heavily recommend y'all go to his channel, subscribe, and like his videos and comment in his videos, because honestly, I like this series and I can't wait to keep finding more and more of these each and every time I go onto YouTube. Boom, I see this. I'm excited because this is probably one of the most single-handedly, probably one of the most influential series that brought back some revive to Jurassic Park, at least compared to whatever's going on, and it's definitely growing in popularity because Aliota's channel skyrocketed, way over I believe 200,000 when like the series was like halfway from its current being out. Anyways, without any further ado, let's begin, and I will just quickly go over this. Alright. I know y'all are going to be tired of me saying this, but I'm going to keep repeating this each and every time. Velociraptor antirophus is not a real animal. Velociraptor mongoliensis is a real animal. And yes, there is another Velociraptor subspecies, I forget what it is, called off the top of my head, but I know it's not Velociraptor antirophus, because what actually existed was Deinonychus antirophus, which is the real animal, and yes, all of the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park are Deinonychus, which is a completely different animal entirely. I mean, yeah, it's still a dromaeosaur. Actually, it's a dromaeosaurid. And within that specific family branch, compared to the Velociraptorines, and compared to the Troodontids. But, let's just say somehow, a paleo artist, not a paleontologist, my bad on that, but a paleo artist in the mid-80s wrote Velociraptor antirophus instead of Deinonychus antirophus. For what reason? I don't know. Now it's posted in an art book, and boom, that caught Michael Crichton's attention, and so he started writing in Velociraptor antirophus, even though Michael Crichton knew that Deinonychus was the correct creature name. He decided to keep it as Velociraptor to make it easier, possibly for readers to understand, or for readers to feel more fear from the quick thief. Or swift thief. Yeah, swift thief. Anyways, let's continue. Where were I?
That's not good.
Robbie, give me the tram.
Robbie?
Get a cow in the Metri paddock.
Yep.
Wait a sec, we're getting Robbie's POV? It's not good. Stay calm, Robbie. Stay calm. Stay calm, bud. We need you to be calm, collected. Whatever you do, do not be like a horror movie protagonist. Huh? Don't check it out, bud.
I've seen.
Why am I being bombarded with ads? I'm sorry. I did not come here for ads. I came here for Aliota's genius work. And that is what I shall give to the people. That's strange. Robbie?
What?
So, wait, where's the camera located then? Is it located? Oh, that's right, it's a chest lapel camera, so this isn't directly where his head is at. But then again, he holds a gun very weirdly. Robbie? Wait. Please don't be there, Raptor. Alright, go for it, bud. Go. I don't want you dead because you're the only lighthearted person in this whole series besides Muldoon that actually kind of is genuinely more of a nicer person. Come on. Please don't get dragged away. No. Robbie, what are you noticing that we can't? Muldoon in danger? Why is their shadows moving? Ah! If I had a nickel for every time a monkey jump-scared cameraman, I'd have 2 nickels by now. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened at least twice. And it's also weird that a monkey didn't attack.
I fired a few blanks from the trank, removed the darts, and you get a high-pressure thud sound from the weapon. Scared the Metri feeding on the sauropod at the river away from the compromised fence. Robbie's released a cow, and yes, he informed me her name was Mildred.
Why is he naming all the cows Mildred? That's just dark, dude. Like, I know it's cute at first to name an animal thing, but like as Muldoon said, it is a psychological bond that you're creating with the animal. And when you have to watch their final moments being ripped apart by, I don't know, a few prehistoric predators that, aren't really going to show much mercy. It's not like any modern day predators would show mercy as well, because mostly, well, I suppose the mercy that most modern day predators do is kill you before they begin eating on you. But like Grant said, they don't wait for you to be dead to begin feasting.
I'm using her to lure all 4 of our Metriacanthosaurs into their holding pen until that fence is mended. I've got one of the girls up here, but I'm not going to introduce the prey item just yet, because this girl right here has a very weird tendency that I want to avoid at a time like this. We call her Mary, and her weird tendency is dragging feed to a shaded corner in the paddock. Same spot every time.
I suppose she is just preparing for the future.
At first, we thought it was simply a preference, like a leopard will drag a kill up a tree to feed. Turns out, it was doing something called caching, saving food, planning ahead. That's not something you expect from an animal like this.
Then, is it possible that the wild raptor population then has been stealing the Metri's food? Since I know it's revealed a little while later that their pen is not that far from the raptor's pen. So, does that mean, and I do mean this, does this mean that the Metris have been being effectively starved by the raptors? I know this isn't exactly a confirmed theory or a confirmed thing yet, but personally, in my headcanon, I believe so because, well, as we're going to see later, I'm going to be giving a whole list of reasons for why that
Means it's
happened.
thinking beyond the current moment.
Alright, you know what? There's a raptor right there. You know what? Muldoon, I don't blame you if you didn't see that, because at the same time, I recently learned that your camera is not actually your own POV. So even though your camera is zoomed in, that doesn't necessarily mean that your eyes are able to spot it.
And that's where it
But
gets dangerous. You can predict
but this
hunger.
but
You
this
can't
raptor just slinks down like you
always
didn't
predict
see
intent,
anything.
though.
Go. Oh no. I'm sorry guys, but I don't care. I am just trying to have what do you call it? Call it have a reaction, not be filled with ads. Because if I wanted to react to ads, I would be doing that instead.
Got some more interest in Bessie now. The praised scent is hopefully strong enough to lure all of them to the fence and move them away from the fence on the river.
Nah, I think the dead sauropod is a bigger attraction than what do you call it? Than oh boy, my back's itchy. Than a cow.
She's a little confused since we don't normally bring prey in between the paddock and the handler's corridor. They are normally fed in their holding pen. That's what they've been conditioned to expect. So this is a little abnormal to them. Herding them into their pen is the only thing I could think of in a pinch while we sort out this fence breach. She's locked onto the scent, but isn't entirely sure how to approach her prey.
Ooh.
She's looking for guidance from Mary.
So Mary's the leader then. And also that hooting in the background. That is the novel Dilophosaurus, aka Dilophosaurus weatheri. For those wondering, for Aliwata's second, the movie counterpart species, that happens to be the quote-unquote species called Dilophosaurus sinensis, which isn't a real species of Dilophosaurus, but has now been reclassified to being Sinosaurus sinensis, and that is different from Sinosaurus triassicus in skull shape and also in crest as well. So yeah.
Good thing about the Metriacanthosaurs is, despite their unnerving predatory formidability, they are relatively good in terms of learning, as far as a bird or reptile can learn, that is. Now, I'm not talking about an African grey parrot level of learning, but since they've only ever been conditioned to expect prey when it's in their holding pen, I'm kind of exploiting that fact and in some ways reverse engineering their understanding. Where you would teach a pet cat to associate its bowl with eating, with repetition, the cat will learn that his bowl means food and anticipate
Yeah, that's true.
feeding in the presence of said bowl. What I'm doing here is presenting the food, making sure the cow's scent is spread, then asking the metries to go to their holding pen in anticipation of feeding. A reverse association.
I would just say this. I would just say you should remain a little less close than that, Muldoon. I would say take a step back or so, because regardless, I don't want you to accidentally get launched into that fence.
Thankfully, conditioning is effective. So sorry to wake you, girl. Okay, that's 3. One more, the one from the river. She's definitely taking her sweet time.
I bet she was just feasting on a sauropod as if by some great miracle someone just dropped a big, giant source of meat that, oh, she didn't have to do anything to get. That's just free. That isn't small, and that she doesn't have to share with her sisters. So, and also, it's big, tasty, and is something that they probably would have ate. I don't believe Metriacanthosaurus itself would have interacted with Apatosaurus. I don't believe that would be the case since they lived on two different continents, but yeah. But since Metri is a well-known-ish dinosaur, I would say the chances of it feasting on sauropods is pretty likely. Since sauropods in Jurassic were pretty big. And also, if there was a dead sauropod, I bet a Metri wouldn't pass up. Oh, hey, look, free meal.
The last Metri is the youngest, and what that normally means in terms of behavioral consistency is she is the most unruly. One positive about her is her olfactory senses should be the strongest of the group, so I know that she's aware of the cow.
Wait.
Browsing.
No. Wait, hold on. I haven't seen Firefox in ages. I don't care, Safe Flight. I just want to watch my dinosaur analog horror series on Jurassic Park. Is that so much to ask? I can't watch my thing.
Here we go. Finally got eyes on her.
There.
Or perhaps
See?
it's more accurate to say that she's got eyes on me. This is a great example of the unruly behavior of young animals. She's insisting on predation because her conditioning is still somewhat flexible in her understanding, not as rigid as the adults.
Aw. Even the Metri was.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
That's not something you see every day.
Beautiful one. Yeah. One, I'm about to school you on these two things, Muldoon. One, even though both you and Demetri both looked at the Dilo, the one thing that you've said repeatedly, and what, you've been telling a few other people, is that don't take your eyes off of predators, especially when they're trying to, well, for example, hunt. And, well, yes, I know you kind of weren't expecting that. That the Metri was also looking away, but at the same time, I know the camera is not exactly your direct POV from from where your head's looking and stuff like that. So my only question is, why were you so that close up to the fence where the Metri could possibly have had, oh, I don't know, been in you or slit its face through said gap, because the gap in between the fence wires is pretty decently sized, where if it scooted its head sideways a little bit, could have definitely fit in between, especially since it's still a youngling, meaning that it hasn't fully grown yet. So that means it could take advantage of the fact that the gate isn't exactly meant to contain something, that small.
Christ. Now, here's something all mothers are intimately familiar with. This is teething in a young dinosaur. At her age, she'll chew on just about anything she can get her jaws around. New teeth coming through, old edges wearing down, gums get irritated. So they work them against branches, fallen logs, anything with resistance. Gnawing helps seat the teeth properly, keeps the bite in line.
I mean, well, yes, teething in carnivores is kind of used like that, but at the same time, I feel like dinosaurs really wouldn't have too much of this issue, Because unlike mammals where we only get like 2 sets of teeth because mammals decided, hey, why not just have specialized teeth for everything and only grow like 2 sets of it? Or be like rodents where their teeth continually grows. But effectively, I don't know why. Don't know why, but dinosaurs. Well, actually, I know why because they're a part of Archosaur. They're a part of the Archosaur family, and that their teeth, even though it's not going to be nearly as much, it's pretty similar to a crocodilian style. Like, look, if one tooth gets knocked out, boom, another tooth comes to take its place. If like they didn't really have the need for like worrying about their teeth per se. However, I do believe that yes, that younger dinosaurs may teeth, but I feel like that would have only really applied to like maybe like some of the like not even juveniles, like hatchlings, since that's at least when their teeth are first kind of fully forming, and that they're trying to get it to be at least useful. Although although I don't expect that this would have continued all that long, except for like maybe after a meal or something, where they take a bone to chew on it to possibly get into the nice calcium on the inside. Oh, that's right. We have a video call with Tony. Ah, no. Why? Why am I given all of this? I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Why am I seeing Minnesota Vikings people? I hate to say this, but I honestly don't like Minnesota Vikings because I'm not from Minnesota, and also the Vikings suck. Change my mind.
Muldoon, you reading me?
Go ahead.
Before anyone criticizes me for that take, just know I'm a Jets and Giants fan. So yeah, I'm pretty familiar with loser teams.
Regis.
Just, checking in.
Oh,
How are you holding
it's
up
Regis.
after the substation incident?
I'm operational.
Right.
Oh,
Well, we haven't seen much of you in control lately.
I've been in the field.
Yes, I gathered that.
Robert, good to hear your voice.
oh no, it's Hammond.
On.
I'll get to it then. I've been asked to handle the consequences of what happened.
Go on.
The animal, Raptor, has been transferred to Isla Sorna. As for the body, we've got an identification. Crewman of the NB, the supply ship between Nublar and Punta Arenas on the mainland.
How did he get into the substation?
That? Oh no. So now this is taking a page from the novels where raptors for a little while, and for some thing, like for a few other dinosaurs as well, they have had their hatchlings, well, kind of go on ships and from the islands to the mainland, which kind of is a bit of an issue in the novel, but isn't so much of an issue in the movie verse because they never really focused on that subplot at all. But oh boy, it's a pretty big issue in the books, and I have to give prompts to Costa Rica because their government in the novel actually did a pretty easy and pretty confident job of cleaning up and destroying a lot of evidence of the dinosaurs to prevent public curiosity and also public outbreak and fear out of what can go wrong from something like that. But they did one hell of a job and one hell of a cover up, and even in the novel towards the very end, they bomb Nublar into the ocean because, well, they're like, look, this genetic stuff has gone out of hand. This is really bad. And so, what do? Well, they take a bunch of napalm and, drop it. By that, I mean, yeah, they literally bombed a whole entire island. Every inhabitant on that island dies, except for the main cast, plus some other workers that the Costa Rican government kind of rescued in helicopters before launching a pretty big helicopter assault on the island. That's at least from what I remember directly from the first novel, and in the second novel, they continued the cover up of the knowledge by burning a lot of the dinosaur bodies, and also by preventing the public and media from ever getting to see some dinosaurs that wash up or some dinosaurs that cause chaos. They cover it up, and do some stuff to prevent leakage of these quote unquote dinosaurs from breaking out into the news.
We still don't know that part. We searched the vessel, every compartment, every container, nothing out of place.
Another dead end.
We were quite thorough, Muldoon.
Not thorough enough.
Gentlemen.
I agree.
John, I'm just trying to establish.
I know what you're trying to do, Ed. Robert, listen to me.
I'm listening.
What happened here, these incidents, they're unfortunate, yes, of course, but not unexpected in a venture of this magnitude.
Several people are dead.
And that...
Yeah. Several people too much. Like, I don't care, like, how expensive this whole entire operation is. I hate to say it, but if you keep getting more and more of your own employees being killed off, what's going to stop the same thing from happening to, I don't know, your tourists, your advisors, your guests? So, yeah. Also, saying recently in the newest vlog, I believe it's 18, or 19? 19 for the Muldoon vlog, is that Hammond actually kind of, although I won't spoil it, he kind of gets a bit of a taste of being a bit more reflective on some of his choices, and honestly, it's quite nice to hear that he's not the same Hammond as you would hear in the novel, who, by the way, movie Hammond is very nice. Novel Hammond, oh boy. Oh boy. Like, novel Hammond is one of the literal protagonists in Jurassic Park, and is unbelievably greedy, where I would just say he gets what he has coming for him in the novel. But yeah, this version is a mixture, like, since this universe is a mixture of what Aliwata wants to do, and also he mixes in elements of the novels and the films, and is kind of doing his own thing, which I kind of enjoy and respect.
Will be handled properly and respectfully, but we cannot allow setbacks to define the entire enterprise.
This wasn't a setback, John. It was a breach.
Agreed.
Which is exactly why we need to control the narrative going forward.
As much as I hate Regis for saying that, I don't blame him, because at the end of the day, he's a PR guy. Like, Ed Regis is the PR guy, so I get it. I get that's his job. And do I hate him for it? Yeah. But at the same time, I also understand it, because A, he's doing his job, and B, it's kind of a bit of an asshole-ish move that yeah, is pretty bad when you're considering that this is literally like covering up several deaths and trying to sweep them under the rug. So I'm not sure what type of murder or manslaughter that falls under, because I'm not a lawyer. Although I do know someone who is one, so I can figure that one out. But anyways, yeah. It's not looking
Narrative
good.
won't fix the system, Ed.
The system will be refined. That's the point of all this. Catching the glitches to implement improvements.
Improvements come after you understand the failure, John.
And we're
Yeah. That's the issue. If it keeps failing, then more and more people will die. And that's
working on
no
that,
good.
Muldoon. We're taking this seriously. We've flagged the incident. Computer systems are being reviewed.
Robert, I don't want you dwelling on this.
With respect, John, I don't have that luxury.
Your focus should be forward, making this park the best it can be.
That requires knowing exactly what we're dealing with.
Agreed. In order for Robert to do his job, he's got to know, what's going on. What are they dealing with? What issues do they have? Otherwise, he can't do his job, meaning that effectively, when you're running off of information that you don't know, you become a blind person leading another blind person because without, guidance from what's exactly going on, what's happening, what's causing it, you're running in blind and you're doing an investigation where, mind you, he almost got killed by a raptor in an electrical fence not that long ago, and he just had barely enough time to quick think to stun it with his taser before it had a chance to even think of pouncing. So yeah, I don't blame Muldoon for being a bit hesitant.
We're containing it, Muldoon, as best as we can. We're a skeleton crew at the moment, but InGen has been notified and is investigating.
So we proceed. Let's get back to schedule.
Why did you just turn British there for a moment, John? Let's get back to schedule. Oh, schedule. Both pronunciations are correct. Actually, wait. I believe Muldoon is British.
Hi, Captain. Is there anything else? Because I have some work to do.
No, Muldoon. Just wanted to check up on you and keep you informed.
Robert, let me leave you with something for you to ponder. Creation is an act of sheer will. Take care.
At this point, I'm wondering, Muldoon, where is your good old pal, Jack Daniels?
Will doesn't stop them getting out. Procedure does.
Agreed. Why am I getting bombarded with ads? Come on, I just wanna... Alright, here we go.
So sorry I'm late.
The video call with, Tony.
Dude, I got caught up with a baby carnotaur that nipped a hatchery assistant.
Ooh.
That's fine, Tony.
You wanted to see the raptors here. I'm heading up the access stairs now. Catwalk gives the best view over the enclosure.
Alright, let's see what's going on Sorna.
How many have you gotten there?
9 in total, 3 males, 6 females. Stable hierarchy for now.
I'm curious to see a male, Tony.
Wait.
Gives the best view over the enclosure.
How many have you gotten there?
9 in total, 3 males, 6 females.
Alright, that's just what I thought. For some odd reason, I could have sworn I heard him say 9 males, and I'm like, what? That's why I had to replay that, just because I thought that I misheard, and I did. And I wanted to catch that because typically the male population is a little bit lower than the female population because males have much larger territories than females, and especially if it's like a social family network of behavior, although more loosely like Komodo dragon gangs and mobs in that kind of sense, rather than like a traditional like wolf pack like shown in Jurassic Park, then yeah, I don't really see the point in having nearly as many males in there when they're going to be competing with one another for dominance, territory, and other stuff. But also not only with the other males, but also with the females and with the offspring. Which makes it a bit tougher for the ecosystem to thrive. So it's, giving the short end of the stick to the males, but also at the same time it improves their chances of having their own genes, making it to the next level. So I say it's a win, although it's a numerical, kind of mess.
Stable hierarchy for now.
I'm curious to see a male, Tony.
You'll notice the difference immediately. They're sexually dimorphic. Males are more flamboyant. We call it the peacock effect. Brighter patterning, more contrast along the flanks and tail.
Display animals, then.
Exactly. Visual signaling, courtship, dominance, the works. We might have picked the worst day for this. Storms rolling in from the east. Skies darkening. Pressure drop like this usually shifts their behavior.
In what way?
Less roaming, more clustering, sometimes heightened vocalization, depends on the group.
You seeing any of them?
Not yet. Dense cover down there. They use the tree line to stay out of sight. Very deliberate about it. I'll move around to open up a better angle for you.
Tony, the raptor we sent over last week from the electrical substation incident.
Yes, I saw the intake report.
What did you make of it?
We examined it on arrival. Female. No anomalies beyond the electrical burns, of course.
It looked exactly like one of ours.
That's because it is. Genetically speaking, same line. Still nothing in view. They're keeping low today.
Tony, what do you know about their swimming abilities?
Swimming?
Long-distance swimming.
Well, I doubt, for example, that they would go off of, if I remember correctly, they definitely wouldn't be able to swim from Sorna to Newbar, because if that was the case, they would drown mid like not even mid journey, like a quarter into their journey. Actually, not even a quarter. They would drown quite easily. Because Newbar is way further away from Sorna than Sorna is way further away than Sorna, but it is closer to Newbar than Newbar is to Costa Rica.
They're competent swimmers, sure. But long distance, we haven't really observed or tested for that. Hypothetically, I'd say limited. They're not built for endurance in open water.
You're certain?
Reasonably certain. Why are you asking?
Just covering possibilities.
Possibilities of what?
You're confident they can't get out of that enclosure?
Here? Yes. Barriers are intact, terrain's controlled, they're definitely contained.
We could use some of that here, that's for sure.
I do agree with Muldoon. This is not exactly a good viewing place for dinosaurs. It has been confirmed that, and was confirmed that Isla Sorna is the factory of the islands, and that this is where that they were, breeding the animals, well, actually creating the animals, and, testing some stuff here before they got it ready to ship over to the park. So, yeah.
There's a viewing window at ground level, might get lucky there.
Alright, let's see. Let's see. Any luck? So far, no luck.
Anything?
Wait a sec. There's a tail.
Yes, there. Finally. That's a male.
God, how did you spot that?
Look
I agree.
at the tiger pattern. Much more pronounced than the female.
I can't even see. Ah, why am I getting a Firefox ad? I use Safari. This is probably one of the few times where I've actually never used. Wait a sec. Today?
Confusing pricing and plans of all time.
Who would join that? With Verizon, you can get the new
Oh man.
Simplicity plan for only $30 a line.
Zip it!
Introducing.
Oh, the cast is back for like a short point of Verizon. Oh, for those that don't know, I'm a big fan of Austin Powers.
A female was
Ooh.
approaching.
I have to say, I didn't need you to. Well, yeah, we know that. Well, actually, Muldoon doesn't know that this is the female since he spotted the male, so I suppose that's fair, but at the same time, we can see it approaching, Tony. What are they? Look at that beauty.
Courting her?
Yep, courtship display. His name is Evo. He's the alpha of the pack. See the posture? Head low, tail elevated. There's a lot of bowing motions involved. He's presenting his colors.
Showing off.
Precisely. He'll circle her, exaggerate his markings. It's about visibility, contrast, motion, signaling his fitness, visually and through scent.
Just like birds, and she decides.
Entirely. If she's receptive, she'll mirror certain movements and what looks like nuzzling, but it's sniffing their compatibility.
Intelligent behavior.
Highly.
Yeah. Because, believe it or not, birds are extremely intelligent. Granted, they're not on near human level. Actually, I think maybe corvids are on near human level, but other besides that, I'm pretty certain that, you know, these guys. Although in real life, yeah, the raptors wouldn't really have been nearly smart as their Jurassic counterparts, but I believe to some extent some courtship would have definitely been a role, since that's a pretty big role in birds, and since dinosaurs' only living quaid still left alive is the avian quaid, which is known as birds. So I suppose it makes sense that we base some of their traits from the traits of the last remaining quaid that we have of them. Although, it should be noted that in real life that they had a bunch of feathers and didn't have, scaly skin. Although this was thought to have been the case of scaly skin for the 90s, I would say for a long period of time, it was always assumed from that these guys did have scaly skin, till more recent studies and more recent finds and looking into stuff kind of proved that they had more feathers. Like, I mean a full coverage and plumage of feathers. Feathers where the kid was right. They would look like, like 3-foot turkeys. Although, unlike a turkey, they would be very quick to make a snack out of you. Oh boy. Last I checked, humans are very easily, killable. We happen to be one of the worst species when we're just solo fighting an animal. Like, if it's an animal that's below our weight class, we're probably winning it. I say probably because at the same time, we could also lose it pretty badly too. Like, we're not good at fighting our animals with our own bare hands and our own strength and our own legs. Because, well, we evolved to use tools, and, well, with our tools, we were able to, take down some of the most largest megafauna to have, existed in our time era, and we conquered the world effectively by spreading to nearly every continent except for Antarctica. But yeah, humans are dominant because we're able to use tools and weapons. We're not dominant because we have the best arms, or we have the best legs, or we have the best strength, we have the best ferocity. We happen to have the advantage of group mob mentality, and also being able to use a bunch of weapons and have an extreme prejudice against anything that kind of kills a human, and that we blame nearly all animals of that group to be killed. For example, if a leopard kills a person, people would rightfully have a prejudice against against leopards and any leopards that come near them, because they don't know that this leopard wasn't the one that attacked them. But how are they supposed to know? They don't. And that's the scary
Intelligent.
part.
This isn't random instinct. There's sequencing, response, adaptation.
Coordination.
Yes. Watch, he's adjusting based on her position. He remains lateral to her to display his colors. You can see that olfactory stimulation plays a big role.
Remarkable.
People expect monsters. What they get is something far more complex.
That
Yeah, because animals in real life are not movie monsters. Nor even in the movies, they're not really movie monsters. They are animals with distinct abilities, distinct personalities. Like, even for example, even though they don't have more pronounced personalities, like for example, like other humans do, they have some characteristics that make them stand out from one another.
That's what concerns me. Keep me updated if you discover anything new with the transferred raptor.
Will do.
Thanks for your time, Tony.
No problem, Muldoon. Oh, and happy Halloween for tomorrow.
No. Why am I getting ads? Why am I watching a guy play a video game right away? Is that Clash of Clans? I don't know. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on, Sauropod Swamp. Oh, that's no good. What are they eating? Actually, I know what they're eating, but I'm not going to say it. Regardless, I can assure you that this isn't a part of their regularly scheduled meal plan. This isn't good.
I heard them roaring. Found one injured on the ground.
Oh my God. Christ, they've killed her.
Oh my God. They're eating her.
Welcome to the darkest thing that, is only dark to humans, but really isn't abstracted from normality in the animal kingdom. Welcome to cannibalism. It's the act of a species eating its own member. Humans often get it confused because they only know it from examples of humans eating other humans. Hell, one of my teachers back in, let me see. In elementary school or secondary school, when I was in the upper grades, thought that cannibalism was when an animal ate a person. No, that is just called an animal eating. Cannibalism is when a member of your own species is eating you. And that has to be the exact same member. For example, if I'm a Homo sapien, which I am, I'm a human, and if I were to eat, let's just say that there was a Neanderthal around, I killed said Neanderthal, ate the Neanderthal, that, even though we're technically within the same genus, that wouldn't be considered cannibalism. I mean, to some extent, it would be considered cannibalism, but it won't be pure cannibalism because we're not the same species. Even though we are the same genus, we're not the same species, so technically it won't be cannibalism. Would that stop people from calling it cannibalism, though? No. But there are many factors for why animals turn to cannibalism. One is dire circumstances, which is usually the case for whenever it is seen in the wild. And other circumstance is purely just happens to be, a big old friendly male wanders in on an unintended juvenile away from its mother's protection. And what's the best way in the animal kingdom to grant a mate? Oh, I don't know. Get rid of the offspring that you didn't have, so that way you could, make your own with the mom, since it no longer has to worry about dealing with a baby. And also, this kind of proves my own theory about the raptors stealing all of their food. Well, the wild raptors stealing their food, because they wouldn't have turned to cannibalism otherwise, since cannibalism is mainly something that's done out of dire circumstance and isn't something that, would be used like this out of nowhere. So the Metries are definitely cannibals, to say the least, but so is nearly every dinosaur that ever exists, and nearly every animal. At some point, cannibalism between species members happens, whether it's dire circumstances or getting rid of competition for, your offspring. By that, I mean you get rid of the competition's offspring before you have your own offspring. And also, in dire circumstances, meat is meat. And even if you just walk by a dead Metri, if I walked by, if a Metriacanthosaurus walked by a dead Metri and it was hungry, it wouldn't think twice to eat it. That's just it. And for people saying that Majungasaurus was the only cannibal dinosaur, I say that is incorrect, and a lot of paleontologists will agree with me, because A, there is a lot more animals in the animal kingdom that participates in cannibalism than just Majungasaurus and humans. Because we have a lot of good cases of humans being, that. But yeah, that's not good. He's going to tell John about this.
Where's the youngster?
No, there's the youngster. Enjoying a nice tasty bone.
I didn't realize they were cannibals.
Yeah, every animal is a cannibal at some point. And for those who are thinking, oh, but this doesn't happen to herbivores. Oh, no, it happens with herbivores. It just doesn't happen nearly as often as, for example, as it would with a carnivore. But then again, dire circumstances are dire circumstances, and sometimes cannibalism is needed to survive. To which degree, I'm not sure which, but it is well known that, cannibalism is a natural thing in the world, and humans don't like it. And I understand that. I think, as much as I disagree that it's wrong for humans to do it, because A, we have so much food of our own, and that we don't really need to eat other humans, but at the same other time, I gotta say that, well, not a lot of focus has been given into for other humans to see that. Anyways, that's been the Muldoon Logs, episode 15, the Metriacanthosaurs. Anyways, I'll see y'all later. Oh wait, that reminds me. There's going to be a link in the description to Aliwada's channel and to the original video, which I heavily recommend y'all go over, watch, subscribe to Aliwada, watch his video fully, leave a like on it, and comment down below, so that way his video continues gaining more booster and viewership due to the YouTube algorithm, so that way we continue getting his channel bigger, and thus more views, meaning more work for the Muldoon Logs, which I love watching each time. Also, all of the copyright for Jurassic Park once again belongs to Universal City Studios LLC and to Emblem Entertainment Inc., and all of the copyright belongs to Aliwada. Anyways, I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.